and stuff too. So I'm hoping Sarah will come around. I don't know. I guess
That's good.
he had to go out of town, and I guess he's just hasn't rested up. I don't know. He's just
Yeah.
having to work, and like I said, we have a new the new baby, so everything's kind of been disrupted. I guess that's the only thing I can think of.
Susanna,
So
do you have, if one of your birds is doing yes, no, you were on it. You got this, lady. That's
actually
awesome.
doing good with that. So, and I try to kind of work with the baby a little bit, but he's too young.
Yeah.
He's not even 5 months old yet, so I need to
Yeah.
give him a little bit of time. So, and he's still adjusting to, I mean, he's doing really good, but he's still adjusting. It's an adjustment. So,
Yeah.
but I was looking forward to class tonight. I don't know if anybody else is.
Well, I'm gonna pop back over to Lisa and Lucy. I know that you have been out for a couple of weeks. Where are you in your learning journey? Because I'd like to provide some supplements for any way that I can supplement where you're at.
So Lucy is obstinate about trying to learn colors. She
Okay.
has zero interest.
Okay.
So yes, you. So I started doing yes and no training
Yes.
without having watched the thing, just so you know. So she says yes. She basically repeats it to me, even though I know she knows what it is.
Okay.
She doesn't do it. So either or is she wants both.
Okay.
And like today, she's just in a mood. I think it's because I was gone. Like today I was trying to get her to eat pomegranate pips for the first time.
Yeah.
And she kept on picking it up and then handing it back to me and saying, try it to me. So yeah, she's still getting the hang of training. She thinks it's supposed to work this way versus that way.
Yeah, no worries. We're gonna start this week and we're gonna go back and watch the yes no video again, just so that everybody has a really good solid foundation on the steps on it. And so we'll talk you through that again and give you some ideas for helping her feel inspired. And then Liz and Nacho, we can neither see you nor hear you, which is fine if that's your preference. I just thought I'd give you a heads up.
Hi, we're here.
I can't hear you.
Nacho just decided that he wanted to do colors, so we were just doing some colors.
Oh, Nacho. So how is your learning journey going?
It's going well. We slowed down a bit this week, just because my life got kind of crazy, so I really didn't have the time this week to devote to really doing new stuff with him. But we had a couple sessions where we just reviewed almost everything that he's learned so far. And I've added pink and white as colors. He loves to do colors. Colors are kind of easy for him. And so when we learn, it's just he loves to pick colors. So that's what we're doing now. So he's learned pink and white in addition to the others. But that's really all that we've done this week.
That's awesome. And okay, so a couple of thoughts are that life happens. Life absolutely happens. Life happens to me. Life happens to all of us. And when that happens, it's okay. And if you're like brain dead or you only have 5 minutes or 3 minutes, just like going back to the basics and going through them, like just even colors, right?
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's perfect because it gives them some enrichment and some mental stimulation and helps them to refresh and stay on with where they are. So even if you're not moving forward because life is happening, which happens to me, especially in February when we're really busy, I'll be like completely brain dead and like exhausted. And I'm like, okay, touch screen. I can't remember which hand it's in, but just touch screen, like
screen.
And yeah. And I think that just doing that is, they love it. Like they absolutely love it. So you're so perfect. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you've got it. And then as you have time or as you have, inspiration for it, because, sometimes our brains are full of life. Like my brain gets really full of the activities too. When you have time and inspiration, you can just like pop in something new here and there and it'll add to their enrichment.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks.
You're welcome. That is all of that. Okay, Liz, Ellie, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think she was going to be coming, but
I thought so too. The last I heard from her, we talk almost on a daily basis. So the last I heard from her, she was planning to, but I know that her schedule's also been kind of crazy. So I'm not 100% sure. But she actually texted me around 4:30 and said, this is what time class is. Don't forget with the time change, it's different for us. So
Okay,
I
sounds good.
to make it.
I'm gonna send her a little email really fast just to make sure she has our name. Oh, this might be her. This is her, yay, okay. Hi, Ellie. Were your ears burning? We were just talking about you.
Sorry I'm late.
No worries. I just want to make sure you had the link okay, because I know that I changed the Zoom. Okay, perfect. So I think that all of us who are coming tonight are here, and a couple of us had some scheduling conflicts, and we were going through some of our updates. So how are you and Sydney doing?
We're doing well. This afternoon went pretty well with the yes and no. I just went back to the basics with treat and water,
Yes.
and just only yes, or yes being much closer to him when I was asking about treats, and no being much closer to him when I was asking about water. And he loves playing with pens. I don't let him have the ink. I don't let him have the ink and the pens, but he loves playing with them and holding them in his foot. So I conditioned pen, and so that was our other yes. So we're
Okay,
getting
perfect.
there.
Good, good. Okay, so it sounds like he's got kind of the yes on the pen and the yes on the treat, no on the water, and you can expand from there.
Yes. I think I was just trying to move too fast for him.
Yeah.
And so back to the basics for a couple of days before we move on to yes and no with other topics.
Yes, no problem. And I think that's a great strategy. It's interesting, developmental stages of birds, because I remember when I got Ellie, and you're Ellie, she's Ellie, when she was such a baby, and I was looking up like what are the developmental stages of birds? Are they out there? And there's some guidance, there's some general stuff, like young ones are more inquisitive and exploring, and then they become a little more inhibited as they get older. But then when we're doing learning, like you really get forced to think about developmental stages almost like humans. I mean, small babies are not capable of things that older babies can do. And like there's absolutely, by 18 months, children start to recognize themselves in the mirror between 18 to 24 months. There's just different developmental stages and milestones that humans go through. And when you're learning and you have young ones, it really it is a big question mark, because nobody's done this, right?
Yeah.
So there are developmental stages, and we have a macaw who started learning to read when she was 5 or 6 months old, and no problem. But then umbrella cockatoos seem to have challenges until they're about almost 3. Around 3 years old, they can start to learn their colors. But the umbrella cockatoos who have come through the class, who are younger than that, including mine, Isabel, until she was 3, she didn't have the skill set to be able to learn. And then, of course, the Goffin's cockatoos seem to be able to learn earlier, but there still may be some developmental, stages that they have to reach, milestones, before they can move to the next thing. So one of the really interesting things has been that Ellie, now that she's 6, almost 7, has really settled down, and where she used to have a challenge with reading multiple words or sentences on a page, she seems lately, and we've been working on this for a year and a half, just here and there, lately she seems to be able to do it. And I wonder whether it's a developmental stage that she's reaching adulthood, and all the impulsiveness is kind of working its way out, and she can handle more stimuli presented at a time. So it's interesting. And with little Sydney's so young, right? 15 months, 16 months?
Yes.
Yeah. So the learning capacity may be there, but it might just be like solidly we have to fix it or figure this part out, and then we can, move into the next one as an age thing.
Yeah, maybe he's just confused about what he wants and what he likes and other things. So it could just be that I should go with a very solid, very succinct treat and squirt on the foot or something that I know he does not really ever want unless it's really hot, which we're not going to deal with that this winter.
Right. Yes. So that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, it was cute. Ellie was saying that he would say yes to the squirt because he wanted the treat, and then she'd give him a little like squirt on his foot, and he'd be like, "Wait, where's my treat? I endured the squirt. Give me the treat."
Yes.
So so it's adorable. But yeah, so I would say, oh no, you don't want to squirt. I actually would hold it back. I would just show him, do you want to squirt? And then yes, no, and then have him pick no, or condition squirt, no, squirt, no, squirt, no. And then treat, yes, treat, yes, treat, yes.
Without giving the treat or the squirt, just show it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start our lesson, and we're going to start out with a yes no, so we can get into really great detail about the steps when we're when we're doing it.
Cool.
Oh, and Donna is back. Hi, Donna. I'm going to unmute you for a second. Oh, there you go. We can hear you. We can't see you, but we can hear you. And it's okay if you don't want your camera on too. That's totally fine. Okay, so I'm going to
Hey, Jen, can I ask you a question?
yeah.
Do you think that, I mean, like Sayer's 23 years old, do you think that has anything to do with him not wanting to learn?
So Moonlight is 35 at this point, and she started learning how to read when she was 34, and it took a little bit for her to realize, like, oh, treats, like the whole treat learning system. But once she started learning, she was really pretty into it. And the only thing I will say is that her recall, I think, like, she can learn fairly quickly, but her recall is a little bit less sharp than Ellie's, for example. So where I can teach Ellie concepts and Ellie will hold on to them for longer, Moonlight needs a little bit more refresher on them. So I don't think that age necessarily precludes it. I think that age might just mean that you have to show them how to learn and show them that it's fun, because they haven't had that experience yet.
Okay, well, I just wonder if his medicine has something to do with it too.
Meds could do it. Meds can interact.
Because he used to fly, but he can still kind of fly, but the doctor said it's from the medicine, so he doesn't. I guess it kind of makes him lazy. I guess I don't know. I was just wondering if that maybe because he used to be real active and almost hyper, and now he's completely too laid back the way I look at it. But they said it's from the medicine.
So yeah, the medicine can adjust learning behavior. Isabel is on Haldol, and for her, when she has a higher dose, like if she's having a hard time, she's kind of a zombie. Like she'll just touch. She wants to just touch to interact, but she can't really comprehend it. So medicine can interact.
Okay.
Thankfully, she's not on that much medicine very often, but she's on medicine daily, but she doesn't have high doses. But yeah, that can interact with it. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Good question. Oh, Ellie says, for humans, it can be harder for older humans to learn how to read. And that's true. That's true. I think that with Moonlight, like I said, it was, she really started to, I had to show her that it's fun to learn colors. We definitely started with colors and then like sound blending, but you're right. Like the retention can be a little bit tougher. And I think that developmentally younger beings, right? Like humans, birds, whatever, definitely have a little bit more inquiring behavior and like seeking and interest. So it might be easier for them to grasp it when they're younger, for sure.
I've read that with cockatoos, they get scared of new things as they get older.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
even just introducing anything would possibly cause a fear reaction. So good for you for trying.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Sharing my screen and the sound, and we're gonna go back, and I think it's gonna be helpful. Where did it go? Because you're gonna watch it with okay, so this is with a little bit more experienced eyes, right? Because you guys have had the opportunity to try yes and no a little bit. So we're gonna go back and rewatch this with Moonlight doing yes and no, and then you can ask me specific questions about procedure with your birds. I'll skip a little bit, but we'll start here.
This is how to teach yes no to a bird. I use a green object and a red object. These are just foam. I cut. Sometimes I use pipe cleaners or cars that are red or green or something. Just something red or green is what I.
Is anybody here using something that's not red and green, like shapes or anything else, or is everybody using red and green? We're all using red and green. Okay. Yeah, I think red. I still use red and green because it's easy to find it in the house. I'm like, where are the communication cards? Okay, here's my yellow and green. Oh, video is a bit choppy. Okay. Let's see. Let me see if this gets any better. If it doesn't, let me know.
Typically use because green is easy for everyone to remember. That means go or yes. These phones. Touch yes. Good. Touch yes. Good.
So first we're going to condition the green object for yes.
Touch yes. Okay. Touch yes. Touch yes.
Okay, so I had her touch yes repeatedly and she got a treat every single time. Are we good on that?
Touch no.
Click and then treat.
Touch no. Touch no. Okay. And touch no. Good. Touch yes.
Okay, so I actually put yes closer in front of her face. I'm going to go back here and show you. So I said touch yes, and it was close. She still got it wrong. But all we're doing right now is we're teaching that when we say touch yes, she touches green, touch no, she touches red. She doesn't know what it means. We're just teaching the concept that yes touches green, she needs to touch green. No means she needs to touch red. Are we good on that? Any questions? Okay, so all we're doing is teaching that those two words are correlated with those two colors.
Touch yes.
I held the yes pretty close to her face here. And she still got it wrong, right? But I held it pretty close here. And then I pulled my hand back a little bit because we're not blind testing. We're trying to help her learn to touch yes for green and red for no.
Touch no. I'm going to swap them just to really make sure she understands it. Touch yes. Yep. And touch no. Where's no?
She gets it wrong, we take a break.
Touch no. Touch no.
Okay, so again, phase 1 is simply teaching the bird to touch, that when you say touch yes, she touches green. When you say touch no, she touches red. That's the entire conditioning that's going on here. Any questions on that? If when you offer this quiz, they're confused, just go right back to just touch green, yes, touch green, yes, touch green, yes, touch no, touch red, no, touch no, red, no. Okay, so if they're having a hard time with this quiz here, then just go back here and reteach each object, or each
And
word
touch no.
individually again until they're feeling comfortable with the quiz. Okay, any questions? Okay, so now I'm going to pop up here and what was this?
Perfect. You can keep doing that a little bit to make sure they really know yes and no and are distinguishing between it very well. They don't know what it means. They're just touching. They're just touching. Okay, now we're going to give it some meaning by building vocabulary. Touch, treat. Good. Touch.
So she's just touching it and I'm not actually giving it to her. So I'm saying touch, treat, and good. And then I will give her a treat in a second, but I'm teaching her to touch my hand. That's a treat in my hand.
Treat. Good. Touch, treat. Good. Touch, treat. So now we're teaching her the word treat.
So that's just vocabulary development. Touch, treat. She learns that the little thing in my hand is a treat. Are we good on that?
So she has to touch it and then you click and actually hand it over.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
This is a treat. Touch, treat. Good. And we're going to distinguish it from water. Touch water, which she probably doesn't want.
Ellie brought up something really smart last time, which was it's a good idea to make sure your bird isn't thirsty when doing this exercise, because if your bird is thirsty and you tell them no, then they'll be confused. So when you're doing this, if you're using water, have them give them water before you sit down to work together to make sure that they're not thirsty. Because if they're thirsty, then it'll be confusing because you want them to say no. So offer them water, let them drink to their heart's content, and then they'll be satiated and you can use it as your neutral no. She won't even touch it. And then I won't touch it. I'm like, touch water.
That is a big fat no. Touch water. You're gonna touch water.
I'll say this is a really good neutral no, because look at her body language. Like, is she afraid of the water? No. But does she want it? No. So I'm getting like a I'm not interested in this. Take it away. It's not something I want right now, but it's not something scary. So her body language is good on this neutral no.
Touch it. Can you touch it? That's close enough. Water. Touch water. Can you come close? Okay, water.
It's okay that she's not touching. I'm just saying it over and over again, and then she's going to condition it. Even if she's not touching it, she'll know that that's water because I say it repeatedly.
So this is definitely a neutral no. She drinks water. She likes water. She doesn't want water right now. So I'm going to ask her, and this is going to make...
Okay, so at this point in your training with your bird, you have conditioned that this is yes. They don't know what it means, but when you say touch yes, they need to touch this. When you say touch no, they need to touch this. So those are two vocabulary words, yes, no, without any meaning, just blank yes, no. They've learned the word treat is this, and they've learned that they have a cup of water. So they have 4 vocabulary words at this point. Does that make sense? And then we're gonna condition some meaning. And is the video a little bit better now? Are you guys able to watch it okay? Okay.
To a new bird who's never done it before, but I'm gonna say Would you like a treat?
So she has no idea what this means, or your bird. I mean, you guys have been working on this, but initially you ask them, do you want a treat? And they're like, they don't know what that means, but treat was cool. So treat, they'll want it, and they'll have to figure out what that means.
Do you want a treat? She touches no.
So if they touch no,
No. Oh, no treat. Would you like a treat?
you just re-cue. Take a break and re-cue.
Yes. All of a sudden, green means something. Green means she gets a treat when I ask, do you want a treat? Do you want a treat? Yeah, good things happen when you say yes, right? She gets what she wants. One more time. Do you want a treat? Yeah.
And as Ellie and I were discussing earlier, I would really strongly condition this. Or you could do a series of things that if they say yes, they get presented. If they say no, no. But I would start with, yes, right? And just really strongly condition that yes means that something is presented to them, that they get the thing that they're requesting that's been asked. Does that make sense?
When we touch yes, we get the thing. Would you like some water? Do you want water? No. No water, and I'm going to give her a treat because that's the correct answer.
So if she said yes to water, I would offer her the water and no treat. So Ellie, just like the squirt, where he was like yes to squirt, I'd give a squirt and no treat. And then I would re-cue. It says to lower the resolution. Let's see. So you're awesome. But this might make it a little better quality. Let's try. Okay, so again, Ellie, if you say, do you want squirt? And he says yes, you can give a little squirt on the foot and no treat. And then you might say yes again, and you do a little squirt on the foot and no treat. And then when you offer again, he'll be like, you can give him no, you can show him no, and he'll touch it, and then he gets the treat. Or you could show him the water bottle. Maybe instead of squirting, you could show him the water bottle and say, do you want a squirt? And he'll say, if he says yes, you can just bring it closer and you don't have to squirt his foot, just bring it closer. And then have him choose no instead by saying, do you want a squirt? And have the no closer. So he chooses no and he gets a treat. Does that make sense? It does make sense? Okay. So just to recap that, you would say, do you want a squirt? You'd offer yes and no. If he picks yes, I would just bring the bottle close and show it to him. And then I would re-cue. Do you want a squirt? Yes or no? And then have him pick, and I put the no close in front of him and yes further away. So he has to touch no. And when he touches no, he gets a treat for touching no. Okay? Okay, good. Any other questions on that part for anybody else? We're good? Okay, I'll just finish this up and then we'll hop over into our lesson.
Would you like some water? No. I'm going to switch them up.
And you can switch them up when
Would you
you're
like
really
some
good at
water?
it.
No, she's very good at this. Okay, so
Okay, so that is how that goes. Any last questions on that? And then Lisa, let's talk about motivation too. So any last questions on yes, no from anybody? Okay, so then I'm gonna hop over here and Lisa, what time of day are you doing your lessons with Lucy?
Usually when I get home from work.
And has she eaten dinner?
It depends how late it is. So like every day last week, I worked 10 hours, 12 hours a day last week. So every time I got home, she had already eaten and there was no food motivation.
Okay.
I tried peanut butter. I tried mashed potatoes and there was nothing. And also I think she was just tired and wanted to snuggle and then go to bed.
Yes.
So the past 2 weeks have not been good.
No, that's fine. Because I was gonna say, maybe what you could do is, on the days that I totally understand working long work days. I do that. So maybe it would be something that you focus on the days when you're home early, when she's still hungry, and just know that that's just how it is. Like I can't work with Moonlight after 5 because she's wants to eat dinner and go to sleep. It's just done. So they all have their own little quirks. And that's fine. And I'll also say that Moonlight, for the first 2 months I worked with her once a week on Sundays. And she's still, within 8 lessons, she was learning phonics. So even if your lesson is once a week, just because of timing, you can still make really good progress.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So tonight we're going to talk about books and do you like concepts? And we're going to hop through a little bit with micro skills. Did anybody have any micro skills, which are, again, those like little tiny baby steps to make sure our birds are able to learn? Did anybody have any micro skill challenges this week or successes? Yeah, good. Sounds good.
So this is not about Lucy.
Yeah.
When I was in Key West, I went to Nancy Forrester's sanctuary a couple times.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody saw my videos. Her cockatoos play toddler apps on her phone.
Wow.
Yeah, they like stick their tongue out the side of their beak and can play.
Oh my gosh, I have to go stalk your Facebook and watch this. That is so cool.
Be careful because there's some lascivious photos on there too, but there's also bird videos.
Debauchery is a good weekend for a week. That's awesome. I will definitely look it up. Thank you. Okay, so vocabulary. Did anyone have a chance to work on some vocabulary this week? And what were your words? Okay.
Sydney. I'll go first, I guess. We worked on Halloween themed things like pumpkin. I carved a pumpkin yesterday. And then yesterday and today I was showing him the carved pumpkin and asking if he wanted it. And he usually did until he had eaten all the seeds out of the middle. That's what he loves to do. So
that's awesome. I love that.
And then we did shower. But I wasn't giving him treats in the shower. I would just hold him so that he got wet, because he loves the warm shower. He doesn't like it out of the spray bottle. He likes to be in the shower getting wet with a human. That's his thing.
Yes.
So we did that. I'm not sure if he knows yes and no related to that yet, because I can't figure out a way to very quickly say, oh, do you want to shower while we're in here training, and then go all the way in there and turn on the water and get him a little wet.
When you're in the shower, say shower over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
And then when you do a lesson, say shower, and then take him in there and just turn it on and say shower, and then just come back. And you probably only have to do the like relocation to turn on the shower a couple of times for him to learn the vocabulary word. And then when you're in the kitchen or wherever you are in the house, when you have your yes, no down, you can start asking him, do you want to shower? And he'll probably be able to say yes or no. Okay. That's a cool activity. Yay. That's awesome. I love it. And Donna, it's Shelby. Did you guys work on some vocabulary this week? Oh, we're having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, are you talking to me or somebody else?
You, yes.
Me.
Was Donna with Shelby and Shadow? Yes. We're having a hard time hearing you with your phone. Maybe bring it closer. not quite coming through. Hey, Invisible Joe, you have any ideas? Okay, what we'll do is we'll come back. Let me see if Joe might have some ideas for us. Yeah, we'll come back in a second. Oops. Okay. And Donna, if it starts working, like just feel free to talk. And if it starts working, I'll let you know when we can hear your audio. Let me try to mute you and then unmute you. Say something. Donna? Not coming through. Okay, other vocabulary this week? Sounds good. No, not coming through. Donna, do you want to try to go out and then come back in? That might work if you just pop out and pop back in, and maybe it'll come through. Okay. So that's vocabulary review. And let me just text Joe. He might be able to help us. Okay. Oh, he's in chat mode. Okay, he's working with her. Perfect. Okay, so there are two types of learning that take place in the house. One is contextual and one is direct teaching. So captured learning is kind of like what Ellie and I just talked about in the shower. So so when you're doing something and you're like, oh, this is called shower. Shower, 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 shower. Do you want to shower? This is shower. And then actually, Ellie, you could even bring your yes, no foam cards into the shower and be like, you want to shower? Yes, you know, because you're in there. But so captured learning is very much in the moment. It's relevant to the environment and to the context, right? Because you're in the shower, there's water, you're talking about the shower. And it's really great for reinforcement of already learned concepts like colors, consent. You know, if you're in the kitchen and you grab a banana and your bird is there, you can say touch yellow, right? So this is a captured learning. You're just generalizing yellow to other objects. So learning and conversation really becomes part of your everyday experience with your birds, and that's captured. It can work with basic concepts and object vocabulary development. For example, when I was teaching my birds their feeling states, they you know, how do you make a bird mad? You don't want to make a bird mad. You don't want to make a bird sad or afraid. Like those are sad, bad feelings. We don't want to like, you know, I don't want to make my birds mad, right? So that's just not something I want to do. But it happens. You know, they get mad, just like not a lot, but occasionally. If Ellie's playing in the bathroom because she took a shower and she gets tired of it, and I'm homeschooling Isabel, Ellie will start barking at me. She'll be like slitty-eyed and like yelling and angry, little fierce beast, right? Okay, well, I didn't like intentionally make her mad, but now that it's here, I taught her mad. I was like, mad, you feel mad, 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 mad. This is mad, you feel mad. She's like taking bite marks out of the card. She's like, I am mad, right? So captured learning has a place, or captured learning has a place in our learning environment. It's a little bit more generalized, and I think that when you're teaching concepts, it isn't as strong as direct teaching. So it's more of a reinforcement type of situation. So you're reinforcing things that you've already taught in a captured learning setting. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Okay, direct teaching is, oops, here, chat. Oh, okay. Okay, so Donna, yes, you absolutely can ask questions in chat. And if you'd like to share anything about what you're doing, feel free to type it out. We will absolutely communicate that way. That's fantastic. Okay, so direct teaching is focused, it's full concentration. When you see the training videos that I do with my birds, like we sat down, we had an agenda, this is the game plan, this is what we're doing today, you know, and so it's a lesson, right? It's an absolute lesson. It's direct teaching. Typically I don't have other birds in the room because they distract each other. I envy Dr. Pepperberg's ability to have multiple African Greys in one place working together because mine just want to murder each other. So that's not going to happen. So there's no distractions. There aren't people outside cutting the grass. Like I have to schedule my direct teaching time in a place when they're motivated, when they're still a little bit hungry maybe, or motivated to have treats. Not like we're not starving them obviously, but it's like before a meal. And then it's environment, theory of distractions. I kind of walk in with a goal and an agenda. You know, it could change. My birds decide to learn something else. That's fine. They decide not to learn anything at all. That's fine too. But I kind of have an idea of what I want to teach. So that's direct teaching. And then some sample agendas. Like today, I mean, just like generally today, I wanted to work on a communication board with Ellie and Isabel. So I sat down, I wrote out their stuff, and I sat down with Ellie, and she worked for, good like 10 minutes on the sequencing for the communication board. And, it wasn't like perfect, but it was okay. We made some progress. And then Isabel, I sat down with her, and the really funny thing about umbrella cockatoos is that, did anybody here see Zootopia with the DMV and the sloths? Maybe I'm the only one. Okay, well, anyway, so they turn into like statues that move really, really slowly, like slower than a snail. And umbrella cockatoos do this. Like they just, for whatever reason, our dolphins are like touch, 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 and the umbrellas are like literally like that. Like, can you move any slower? I don't think you could. So she did that, and then she went to take a nap. So we didn't learn. It was just them. And it was so hilarious. But you show up, you have an idea of what you want them to learn. And then that's kind of the game plan. That's direct teaching. I think it's the most effective way to teach is to sit down, have a plan, have your stuff there, no distractions, and say, okay, for the next 10 minutes we're working together, or 20 or 30 or 5 or 3 or whatever it is. Any questions about the roles of direct teaching versus captured learning? Okay, sounds good. Seems like all of you are working, like you have that down. You're doing a lot of direct teaching with your birds and then captured learning to reinforce those concepts. So that's great. Okay, so we're going to talk about, do you like concepts? Just to very generally touch on feeling safe. This isn't necessarily something that you triumphantly need to have done next week, right? This is just an introduction for those who are looking for this kind of enrichment. This is also going to be available. I mean, I'll post this video to our group chat tomorrow. And also at the end of our entire class, you'll all have access to all the online classes. And each of these classes is broken into little like 6-minute chunks. So you can go in and say, oh, I want to check this out, or I want to review this or whatever, and you'll have access to all of that. But teaching do you like is a feeling state, right? Because Sydney likes treats and Sydney does not like squirts. Those are feeling states. So one is like positive regard and the other is like not positive, it's negative regard. We don't like squirts. So the difference between like and want is immediate access, right? So like I want a treat, bird wants a treat, the treat is right there. Do you want a shower? Yes or no? Okay, yes, let's take a shower. So the want is immediately or pretty much soon after it's going to be provided. Like, in contrast, is a feeling state. Do you like showers? Do you like squirts? Do you like grandma? Do you like bananas? Do you like this? Do you like that? Those are positive and negative feeling states towards things in their life. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to differentiate it for our birds by teaching them to identify positive and negative feeling states. And there's all kinds of things that we could use for it: treats, showers, food items, people, activities, beverages. When my Ellie had a crush on the neighbor Parker, she was like, I like him, I love him. And that went on for weeks, and then he moved away and she got really mad. And I was like, do you like Parker? And she's like, no, I hate him. I'm like, okay. You know, so likes can change. And it's kind of funny because it is their emotions run deep and are very complex. Okay. So do you want is immediate access and reinforcement? Do you like is taught through direct instruction? It's a general positive or negative feeling state regarding objects or ideas. The way that I did it was to create a baseline emotional feeling with only the things the bird likes generally. So you build vocabulary. My birds like treats. I knew walking in, my bird, and you can write it down on a piece of paper. What does your bird like? And what does your bird not like? Based on body language that you've observed, what do they like? What do they not like? Things that they like are things they move towards. Donna mentioned that her birds are really loving books. So book, you can condition the word book. It's something that they move toward. It's something that they want to engage in and they interact with. So book would be a like. Treats are a like. Warm water is a like. If your bird likes bananas, banana is a like. And so things that you see. In contrast, things that they don't like would be like broccoli. Isabel doesn't like broccoli. Ellie doesn't like squirt. Ellie doesn't like bananas. You know, so you go through the list. What does my bird not like? Does that make sense so far? So we have categories of likes, categories of not likes. Questions? Okay, off the top of your head, what are some things that you know your bird likes? I'm gonna pick on Liz with Nacho. What does Nacho like?
So I was just trying to turn on my my microphone, but Nacho likes to sit on my keyboard while I'm trying to use it, which is great.
Okay.
He likes millet.
Okay.
He likes when I scratch his head, but in the past year, he's decided he only likes when I do it with my nose.
Okay.
So I call that a nuzzle.
Oh.
He's very weird and particular. And I don't know, there aren't that many foods that he likes. He likes to take a shower, but not in the shower. He's got to be in the sink.
Okay. Okay.
So
here's some of the vocabulary. Yeah, here's some of the vocabulary I hear there. There's keyboard, right? So the word would be keyboard, keyboard, keyboard. Sink, shower, or sink bath, right?
Mm-hmm.
But however you want to condition that phrase. You said millet.
Mm-hmm.
So millet, sink bath, keyboard, and nuzzle.
Yeah.
So those would be the 4 vocabulary words that I would teach before I did the likes, right? Because now we have 4 things that we know that you really like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are some things that Nacho does not like?
Fingers and overall being touched.
Okay, so fingers is a vocab word that would be easy, right? Like you just fingers, and I wouldn't necessarily touch him. I just like show them, and I'd be like fingers, fingers, fingers. And you can say touch fingers if he wants to, but if he doesn't want to, you say fingers and just show the fingers. Let me see. So there's fingers, and then he doesn't like to be touched, but we say touch a lot, so it'd be confusing to like use that in that context.
Maybe pet. Maybe pet would be a better one.
I like
He'll
pet.
let me do it sometimes, but only sometimes. So
yeah, it's like my Ellie and her kisses. They're rare.
Yeah.
Usually she does not like them. Occasionally I get them. Okay, so then you have 4 positives and 2 dislikes, 4 likes, 2 dislikes. So for this exercise, it would require 6 vocabulary words to be developed that you would work on for a week or 2. And then once you have your vocabulary words for those six items, objects, experiences, activities, whatever, 6 things, then you would proceed to this next step. And you don't need to have 6, it could be 2 of each, right? Probably 2 to 3 of each would be the minimum, because you're teaching them a pattern now. And the pattern is, I like treats, I like showers, I like outside, or I like, I don't like squirts. No, I don't like squirts. And I don't like this, and I don't like that. So, so you're teaching them patterns. It's probably good to have 3 of each. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is just like your yes, no, you would say, do you like treats? And they don't know what like means, right? Because they know that you say, do you want treats? And they say yes, and then they get a treat. So you would say, do you like treats? Yes. They touch it, they get a treat. Do you like, and you don't have the warm water there. Warm water is gone. They already know what warm water is, but do they have the vocabulary word? But you'd say, do you like warm water? And they touch it, and you give them a treat. They're not getting warm water. It's not a want and immediate receive. It's a, do you like warm water? And they touch yes. You like warm water, treats. Does that make sense so far? So we're teaching them that like means a feeling of general positivity, right? Do you like shower? Yes, do you like shower? Treats. So they know the words. They're not immediately receiving it. And they see the pattern that, yeah, I like treats, and I like warm water, and I like showers, and they get a treat each time that they answer correctly. Yes, I like these things. Does that make sense so far?
It makes sense. I'm a little worried about something because Lucy says, would you like a kiss? And then she gives kisses. Like, it's very close.
Yes. I still think that you could probably do this. So she asks, do you like kiss? Do you like kiss? And then she gives a kiss.
No, she says, would you like a kiss?
Okay, would you like a kiss? And then she gives a kiss.
Right.
That is so cute. She's so expressive and verbal. I love it. I still think that you could teach this and it would be different for her because even though she says that, you would create a new context for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll just try to speak more clearly so that she hears the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so you're creating a pattern here of 3 or more things that you know she likes. And then you say, do you like this? Sure. And then only offer yes, and she gets a treat. And then she realizes that the pattern is things that she feels positive about.
Where are you trying to go?
Other questions? Okay. So then you review the questions, offering yes and no cards. So first you did, do you like treats? Yes. Do you like shower? Yes. Do you like warm water? Yes. Then you say, do you like treats? Yes. Do you like warm water? Yes. Do you like shower? Yes. So you're offering the no, but they need to choose yes because the answer is yes. Are we good on that? So we teach discrimination. Now you go to the baseline neutral negative feeling states. And you write a list. What do you know your bird doesn't like? Squirts for Sydney. Squirts for Ellie, right? So I don't give Ellie squirts because she doesn't like them. But I hold up the bottle because she's seen it, and I'm like, this is a squirt. And she was like, ooh, I don't like that. Even without getting a squirt, she didn't like it. Okay, so you would say, do you like broccoli if your bird doesn't like broccoli? And you've conditioned it, right? You've brought out the broccoli. They don't like the broccoli. They're making the face, do you like broccoli? And they're like, no, I don't like broccoli. You say, do you like broccoli? And they say no. And you're like, good job. You're right. You don't like broccoli. Treat. Do you like ice cubes? They say no. You're right. No, you don't like ice cubes. Give a treat. Do you like squirt? No, you don't like squirt. Give a treat. Does this make sense again? So we've done a pattern of negative feeling states without like any infliction, right? We're not gonna like put ice cubes on them. It's nobody I know, nobody would do. But this is a general observed. They can observe it and say, I don't like it. Okay. So you're conditioning, no, 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 I don't like broccoli. No, I don't like ice cubes. No, I don't like whatever. And then once more, you quiz. Do you like broccoli? They should pick no. Do you like ice cubes? They should pick no. Do you like squirts? They should pick no. Good? And then you quiz with all of them. Do you like treats? They should pick yes. Do you like broccoli? No. Do you like books? Yes. I would never do yes, no, yes, no. I would always break it up. Do you like outside? Yes. Do you like bananas? Yes. Do you like ice cubes? No. Right? So now we're quizzing them on the things that they've learned yes and no for do you like. Good? Then it gets interesting. I showed a video last week on the page of Ellie, and I actually have a reciprocal one of Isabel. And I was asking them things they like and things they don't like, and basically they like everything. After you know that their answers are consistent with the yes and no and the like and the don't like, you can ask them questions you don't know the answer to. And like you can say, do you like Isabel? You know, or you're the sister, or do you like your cage, or do you like the cats? You know, do you like this? Do you like that? Again, you've conditioned vocabulary. Never assume your bird knows a single word you haven't taught them. So this is all conditioned vocabulary, but you can ask, do you like mom? You know, do you like that? Do you like this? Do you like that? So those are really interesting things because I think it helps husbandry practice to know the things they like and they don't like. Like right now, Ellie doesn't like Isabel because Isabel is aggressive with her. I mean, just generally, Isabel is hormonal and aggressive. So they have their spots and they have their distance, but you know, Isabel is not the favored bird among the sisters. Okay, questions on do you like?
Hey, Jen, I have a general question maybe you can help me with. Just this past week, Nacho started doing this thing when we train where he takes a piece of millet and he rolls it around in his mouth for like, I'm not exaggerating, 5 or 10 minutes. And I don't care about that. That's fine. It's just, it makes it so difficult because now instead of having 10 minutes that we can focus and train, now it's like 45 minutes that I need in order to actually work with him. Do you have any idea what that is or like how I can avoid him doing that?
Yeah, my Ellie does something similar sometimes. It's like, could you chew any slower? I think that you probably couldn't. First, I'm gonna say, is he full? Hello, cutie. He's so cute. When he's learning, do you think that he's hungry or is he full?
So I don't give him meals the way a lot of people do. I just kind of leave a little bit of food in his cage all day and replenish it every morning. I've had some difficulty keeping his weight up, so I always keep food on hand for him. Right now, he's very into learning. He wants colors. He wants millet. As we're doing class, he's running all over my keyboard, looking at the foam letters and just driving me nuts. So he obviously wants millet, but he's still doing the 10-minute chewing thing, so I'm not really sure.
That's interesting. I'm going to actually ask Michelle if she has any ideas.
Yeah, I would. The only thing I could think of is the thing is millet is so small. It's like my first, go-to is trying to find something smaller, or if there's another reinforcer that you could use.
Motivator. Yeah.
Even if it's like praise or excitement or because some birds will work for just that interaction and attention, or almost like what you use as a bridge ends up being the reward because they just want to see if they can make you go yes.
Yeah, oh, that's a good point. He's responded well to that in the past, so maybe I'll try going back to that.
You might alternate too. What Michelle said is so true. Like with Lily, because she's so little, I have this sunflower seed and I will break it into the littlest, teeniest bit. It's like, let me see. You can hardly see it that big.
Yeah.
Which millet is like that. But if he's taking a bite of all the millet, you know, he might have several in his mouth. So maybe like an individual millet or an individual, like little tiny fraction. This is the entire sunflower seed. This is the fraction I just broke.
Yeah, you can almost take the back of a spoon and just like crush some things or something and see, kind of almost pulverize.
Yeah.
Little pieces.
He's so cute. I love Nacho. He's such a cute little guy. Or you could alternate, like do some praise and then also do a reinforcer with a treat later.
Thank you. That's really helpful. I'll give that a shot this week.
Okay, so now I'm going to give a little gentle parenting tip about our birds' honest answers. They will say things, and to me, it's most important that they are always authentic. And if we differentially reinforce them for things we want to hear versus things we don't want to hear, we won't have true answers from our birds. Does that make sense? For example, if I ask Ellie, you know, do you like mom? And she says no, and I know what she, like, we have a history that I know she knows what that means. I'm not confused about, or she's not confused about what that means. Like, she understands the concept. We have a history of her understanding the concept. And she comes back and she tells me, no, she doesn't like mom. I click and I give her a treat because I want her to tell me she doesn't like me. That's okay. And if she says yes, I click and I give her a treat. Because if she only gets a click and a treat when she says she likes me and she doesn't get one when she says she doesn't like me, but she has a negative feeling state about me for whatever reason, I mean, then I'm not going to get honest answers. She's going to, like, through behavior training, learn to lie. And it's not going to be very helpful to me. So that's the first thing, is that birds, you know, my birds are very authentic in their responses, and it's very valuable to me. I understand that we're a family, and as much as I possibly can, I try to give them good experiences and build trust. But when Isabel goes to the vet, she's not going to like me the next day, right? It's just, it is what it is. And I can try to counter condition the vet experience, but she had trauma on her foot and she spent 4 months in and out of the vet's office with trauma, like severe trauma, and she's never going to like being there. I mean, as much as I work with her, it's going to be very hard. So when she goes to the vet and she comes back and she tells me that she doesn't like me, I think it's important for her to be able to express that. I think it's important for birds to be able to express, you know, inner state and not and be completely reinforced as the same as if they say good things. So so we always validate their feelings and we never differentially reinforce their responses. Does that make sense? Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is sometimes the birds don't understand the concept or they forget. I mean, just think about trying to learn a different language. And if you're trying to learn a different language and 2 weeks ago someone taught you the word like in Latin, you know, and then it's been a couple of weeks and you don't remember it and they say, oh, da 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 da, and you're like, I don't know, I'm going to touch it. Maybe I'll get a treat. Who knows? You know, like you could touch the wrong one and not know. And so sometimes they don't remember and they don't know. And so if you say, do you like treats? Please say no. Go back and reteach it. And it doesn't take a couple seconds to go back and say, do you like treats? Yes. Do you like water? No. I mean, do you like squirts? No, you don't like squirts. Just reinforce and retrain the words. Does that make sense?
So water shouldn't be one of those, right? But maybe squirts.
Yes, you're exactly right. Because yes.
And then for new things, like if you are not quite sure if they like something that particular day,
yes,
So you pretty much just go back to your ones you're absolutely sure of, and
You have
then
it
ask again.
right. Yes. Okay, so that is exactly perfect, but beyond perfect, because when I start out my lessons, I start them out always with yes, no, do you like things? Because I know that they like treats and no, they don't like broccoli. It is what it is. Like all day long until the end of time, they're going to like treats and they're not going to like broccoli. Just they're absolutes like taxes and death or whatever. So I use do you like as my baseline testing before we get into a lesson, because I know what they like, and then I'll venture into things that I'm not sure and see what their answers are only after they've consistent like 70 to 80% accuracy, not 100%, but you know, something above chance, like 70 to 80% minimum. When they're doing that, then we'll get into the lesson. Good. Okay. The last thing we're going to talk about really fast are books. And I'm actually going to pause here and ask Donna, because I know that her audio isn't working. Where's my chat? Donna, do you have any thoughts or questions?
No.
Oh, you're back. Oh, Donna too. Okay, yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so introduction to books. Books are really fun, and they, whether, like for all birds, whether or not they ever read, books can just be fun enrichment activities. So the first thing is how to pick a book. I like to pick books with clear, repeated objects. Give me 1 second. I have a book here, but I want to show them. Holidays. Come here. The pumpkins. Sydney will like this. No. So for example, this is pumpkins. Every single page has pumpkins. There are lots of pumpkins in all the pages. There are ghosts, you know, that are cute. There's different things, but essentially you've repeated pictures, and the birds get treats for saying, oh, where's the pumpkin? And it's easy. They just touch a pumpkin and they get a treat. And this activity, if my birds tell me that they feel sad or mad or afraid, if there's any negative feeling state, they always ask to read a book. This is their bar none go-to. I'm gonna feel better if I do this and we do this. At the end of it, if I ask them feeling states, their mood is improved. They'll like things better. So this activity is bar none my bird's favorite go-to, period. So picking books, clear repeated picture objects, not too busy. I don't love watercolor books, the ones that are really whimsical, because I think that they're hard to see the object and really distinguish between them. Yes, Ellie or Sydney would love this book. It's really, really cute. Okay, so small sentences. You can see there's 1 sentence per page, just a couple words. These are the easy board books. My favorite books are books like this, and also I should just take stock in, pull out stock in Harriet Ziefert's series of books. These books, Ellie, this is the first book that Ellie ever read, and she actually slid down my shoulder and went and touched the words as I was reading them. I didn't think to try, so she did it herself. So it's 1 word per page. There's a big picture. These are easy books. They are on Amazon. They're also at your library. Become friends with your librarian. I am at the library every month and sometimes more often. So this is what the inside looks like. Hey Duck is a really fun book series. It's a little duck, it's little cats, and the birds are really cute when they're looking at the pictures. You can say, where's the duck? Where's the yes, go libraries. Yes, Michelle. Yes. Libraries. We love libraries. If you start doing our Tuesday night classes, we actually have a book corner. Rachel does a book corner, and she goes to the library and she gets book ideas for us for our topics every single week. So we love libraries. Okay. So this is Hey Duck. There's a little duckling. There's the cats, and each page has a duck and a cat. So it's like, where's the duck? Where's the cat? Oh, Donna says, go to the library only after learning not to eat the book. That is very true. That is very true. The grocery store, I got this one at Publix, the grocery store. The grocery stores have board books for kids that are themed. Like if you go right now, they'll probably have a Pilgrim one or a Thanksgiving one. At Christmas, they'll have Christmas ones. I think this was $6, you know? So to Donna's point, you can start out with your grocery store board books. Okay, how do you get your bird to enjoy books? The first thing is you have to teach them not to eat them, because that will be their hope and their experience. Yes, Ellie, exactly. We need to learn not to eat the covers. Yes. Okay, so the series of how you're going to teach it is that you teach the bird first to just touch the book. Touch book. You're building vocabulary word, touch book, touch book. They naturally, the ones I've worked with, touch the edges at first. So the next thing that you have to teach them is to touch the page in the middle. This to me was something where I offered it, and it was something that I captured because I don't want, like, I don't like to force my birds to touch things, you know, because I feel like that's an imposition of their personal space. So I prefer for them to touch. I don't like touch the center and like put it in their face. I hold it up and I wait for them to kind of slide their face across the page. Initially, they'll they'll be touching the edge because they got treats for touching the edge. And you'll be like, no, touch the middle, touch here, touch here, touch here. So the first thing is to teach them to touch the center of the book. And as soon as they do, this is where the clicking works better than good. You click, because they're gonna go like this. They'll go, zoop, and you'll be, so as soon as they touch the center, you click. That's the next thing, click. And then you teach them to touch words versus pictures. So let me just pop over here. We have some chatting going on.
Did you just talk to me?
Do what? Oh, okay. So the steps are going to be build vocabulary, pair book with touching the book. Step 2, and this is all in your PowerPoint that you got in your emails today too. Open the book and say touch picture. They're not going to know what that means, so you're going to have to capture it. They'll be touching the edge. You're like, no, touch the middle, and keep like pointing to the middle, and they'll capture it. It might take a little while, take Isabel a little while. So reinforce for touching the page anywhere. If they touch here, they get a treat. Here, wherever, in the middle. And then, hold on, here's a rabbit on the keyboard. Somebody has a rabbit on the keyboard. It's just apparently adorable. Joe's like, rabbit on the keyboard. Oh, you know why? Because Joe is the best rabbit dad on earth. He feeds all the wild bunnies twice a day carrots in his yard. He has 4 big ones, 1 baby, and a little mouse. Anyway, so he's excited about your rabbit on the keyboard. Does anybody have questions so far about the book? So step 1, condition book. Step 2, get them to touch the middle. Once the bird touches the middle, you'll say touch the picture, and they'll touch this part versus the word. And then you can say, where is the pumpkin? And then they don't know what it is. So randomly they'll just start touching, and you click as soon as they touch the pumpkin, and they're like, oh, that's the pumpkin. So cool. Touch the pumpkin, touch the pumpkin. And then every single page, they'll touch the pumpkin because it's the best, most fun thing that ever happened ever. Okay, are we good on that?
Yes.
Okay, any questions? Oh, Donna, you did touch color on the page. That's so cool. And Donna, did your bird started touching the page okay? She's gonna write back. Once your bird has come to enjoy touching pictures in books, you can distinguish pictures versus words, but that's more of an emerging literacy skill. So for now, if you can have your bird just like touch pictures, and even if you could get them to the point where you're like, where's the pumpkin on this page? And where's the pumpkin on this page? And where's the pumpkin on this page? They get treats every time they touch the pumpkin. And like, it's just, they're so ridiculously cute and so happy doing it. Okay, so that was our lesson for tonight. And any questions on the books, on the do you like, before we start talking about our homework and our game plan for this week? Quick question from Michelle. Yes. Michelle, do you want me to unmute you? Okay, what is the difference between do you want and do you like? Good question. Do you want has an immediate, is immediately given. Do you want a treat or do you want water? Do you want juice or do you want tea? Do you want pancakes today or do you want eggs? Right, so you ask, do you want, and whatever they say yes to is what they get. Do you like is a general feeling state of positive or negative. So when you're teaching, do you want, you're saying, do you want a treat? Do you want a kiss? Do you want a pet? Do you want this? Do you want that? And when they say yes, they get it immediately. When they say no, they don't get it. With do you like, you're teaching them a feeling state and you're teaching it through patterns. So you first build vocabulary with 3 things they like, 3 things they don't like. And then you say, do you like things they like, treat, outside, and Isabel likes showers. Treat, outside, showers. Those are our 3 likes. Okay. Do you like treats? Yes, you like treats. Do you like outside? Yes, you like outside. Do you like showers? Yes, you like showers. So she's not getting outside right now. She's not getting a shower right now. She might get a treat right now. But she realizes that she says yes to the things that she has a general positive feeling state about. Does that make sense? And do you mind if I unmute you so we can chat a little more about it?
No, I don't mind if you unmute me at all. Yeah.
I can hear you now. Okay, so does that make sense?
It does. So the like would be something that wouldn't be an immediate, wouldn't serve as essentially the reward, but yes. The want is when you are teaching it and it becomes the reward.
Yes, and actually I do have a video of Isabel. I have a lot of likes and doesn't likes. Okay, so here's Ellie not liking Isabel, or yeah.
You like tea? Hey, Ellie.
This is when we were working on sentence practicing, so you're not doing sentences right now, but you can see kind of how it looks.
Yes or no? Yeah.
He likes tea, don't you?
Ellie likes sleep. Does Ellie like sleep time? Sleep time. Ellie likes sleep? Yes or no? Yes, you like sleeping? Ellie likes outside. You like outside? Yes? Nice. I like outside too. Ellie likes Isabel. Do you like Isabel?
Okay, so you can see she went as far over to no as she possibly can. She was like, I do not like Isabel. No. And then Isabel responded in turn like this.
Do you like bananas?
Do you like bananas?
Yeah, you like bananas? Do you like pancake? Yes. Do you like eggs? Not really? No? Okay. Do you like water? No.
She's in like cold water or to room temperature.
Do you like apple? Yes. Do you like vocab? You like vocab? Yes. Do you like kiss? Yes, kiss. Thank you. Do you like Ellie? No.
Okay, so my girls don't like each other. There you go. I'm gonna stop my share. Oh, actually, we're gonna go back here and just finish this up. For homework this week, some possibilities, and if not, that's okay too. We'll talk about where each of you are in a second. You could develop more vocabulary words towards the end of like or dislike. Probably more enriching, if you have time, would be to play around with the book idea and see if you could get your bird to touch the center of the page of the book. Not necessarily anything in particular, but just the page of the book instead of the edges would be a very enriching next step. For next week, we're going to start conditioning some letter sounds. So if your birds have any phobias to your foam letters, that would be what you're going to work on conditioning, would be that, and desensitizing. Let me stop my share. And I'll see you all on my screen again. Okay, I'm gonna start at my top right, and we're gonna go around and we'll just talk about our goals for the week, and whatever your goals are perfect. So just know that wherever you are, it's great. Donna Downs. Nice to hear.
I didn't hear the question. I'm
Oh, no
sorry.
worries. What are your what in particular are you working on with your? You have one little one who's doing some yes, no.
Claire's the only one that's cooperating, and she's does her yes and no's, and I was gonna try to. I mean, they know a lot of their different stuff, like vegetables or whatever. I guess we're going to try to start on the book with her. Now the other, I don't know what Sayer's going to do. I want to get we'll probably just keep working with the, Sayer is bored with the colors, but he hasn't wanted to progress. So maybe he'll do better with the yes and no this week. And I'll probably try to start with Jagger Lake on the books. I don't know how the books are, she might be afraid of them. I don't know.
Yeah, so just desensitize them ahead of time. Like
I'm gonna have to order some. I don't have any. We don't have. I have to order them. I don't have any bookstores around here or anything. So.
No worries.
Well, is it better to get the ones that are hard, like you would get like a 1 or 2 year old, or you actually
board books? Yeah, they're called board books.
Okay.
They're nice and thick. And they're harder to destroy.
Okay.
There's some great Christmas ones. So if you want to do some Christmas cultural enrichment, like Santa or Frosty are fun. And Liz, tell us what your nacho plans are.
Right now, I'm just trying to get him to stop bathing in the shot glass that I chose for water. He ran across the desk and sat on the edge of the shot glass. Oh, I'll show you because it's really entertaining.
Oh, he's so cute.
Come here, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm sorry. He's been really distracting today. I'm going to teach him. He's so picky about things that I don't know what vocabulary words I want to work on, because even though he's 6 years old, some of his likes have really shifted a lot. So I'm not always really sure. He used to love spinach. Now he's kind of like, with it. So he's learned a couple vocabulary words, lettuce, ball, he knows for his toys. So I've got the vocabulary words down. I don't know. I have to think a little more about the likes and dislikes.
That sounds good. And maybe the yes no practices could solidify some of his things too that he likes.
He's
That's
doing
awesome.
much better with them.
I'm having a mad crush on your little budgie. He's so cute.
Thank you. He's very sweet. Come here. He looks terrible when he's wet, but still cute.
He's adorable. He's adorable. And Donna, Do you want to type in some of your thoughts? Oh, Donna with Shelby and Shadow. Or yeah, okay. And then Ellie. Tell us about your week and any questions you may have.
Well, we are going to work on not eating the book.
Yes, important thing.
Yep, and touching the pictures. I admit I kind of tried to skip ahead and, touch picture, touch word, and he got really frustrated. So I think I need to break it down into smaller steps like you described in this lesson, to just anywhere on the page is fine. Just don't do the edges and things like that. So we're going to work on baby steps to being nice to books. And then I'm going to work on maybe adding some additional vocabulary for a couple days before I switch to like and dislike. But I think that might be actually easier for him than want.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Because right now, maybe he wants everything. Like, oh, yeah, maybe I'll try that too.
Yeah, or at certain times, it can be very quick. Just, oh, no, I don't want that right now. I mean, I like it, but I don't want it right now.
That makes sense.
So,
it'll be a little clearer. That's
so
cool.
likes and dislikes, I'll be a lot clearer on.
Yeah.
So I think that'll make it easier for him if I'm clear on.
Awesome. 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 And then Donna says that we are going to work on more on yes and no and vocab and more reading. And Smokey loves books. I'm sorry, I called Smokey Shadow. Smokey, and Smokey loves books. I'm so happy to hear that. It makes me so happy. Books are awesome. Like, my birds just love them. So that's great. I feel like we need little tiny mini books for our little tiny mini birds. Lisa, tell me about your week. Oh, I have you on mute. I'm going to unmute you. Lisa? She might have slipped away. Michelle?
No.
Oh, you're there. Okay, cool. Oops.
Am I there?
Yeah, you're here.
Now I don't remember the question anymore.
No worries. What are your learning goals for this week?
I would like Lucy to learn 2 colors.
That sounds good. It seems like a micro skill setup is probably a good goal where you're working on motivation, and the 2 colors would be perfect. That would be really great. During the week, if you want, feel free to hit us up on the chat group. And if you have questions, we're happy to answer them or give you ideas, okay?
Thanks.
You're so welcome. And Michelle.
Yeah, so I'm gonna work some more on vocabulary and move to also, the do you want, do you like with the vocabulary, and do some more with touching the books.
Awesome. That sounds good. Well, does anybody have any other questions? You're good? I will see you all next week, and I will see you in the chat group. I'll talk to you later.
Good night.